Okay, put a finger down. If at 15 years old you were diagnosed with endometriosis and your doctor told you that you would never be able to conceive again, but also in that same appointment he said, but if you were to get pregnant, it would literally cure it. Telling a 15-year-old to get pregnant is literally wild. And then all he does is put you on some birth control, and there's no point to really investigate it, because even if they do investigate it and they find it, there's nothing that we can really do if you have it. In and out of hospitals, seeing specialist after specialist, like trying to figure out what is wrong with me. So at the end of the day, everything basically got blamed on anxiety. And so the reason I thought the healthcare system was so bad was maybe because there wasn't enough research in women's health. And so I got my degree in biochemical engineering in hopes to like cure endometriosis. And I was almost more mad when I went into school and I saw how much research there really was for endometriosis that was never told to me. Instead, you spend the next 10 years getting all of your internal organs glued together from endometriosis, which in turn is causing all of these other side effects that are happening inside your body. And so finally, after you do all this research, you learn how to manage the endometriosis symptoms. They start to go down. You're starting to like work full time again. And now that you're learning more about women's health, you also notice that you have some side effects of PCOS. It turns out I've got PCOS too. And not only do I have PCOS, but I learned that 5 years ago, I actually had the same test done by my OB, and they got the results back and they just never told me. And I guess my bad for like never checking. I just figured that they would call me if they were abnormal. And so now that I found out I have PCOS and severe endometriosis, when the doctor told me like, oh, you're completely infertile, I was like, oh, I probably am. And then next thing you know, you take a pregnancy test and it's positive, and you're actually already 4 months pregnant, even though you haven't had a period in the last like 2 years. So you find out you're pregnant, you're able to have your baby girl. And then after you have your baby girl, you realize it's going to take a long time to have a second child because of all your fertility issues. So you start trying to conceive right after you're done breastfeeding. And then unfortunately you have a miscarriage. And so you go to the doctor and they're like, well, at least you can get pregnant. And you're like, that is literally a crazy thing to say to somebody. 6 months later, I have another miscarriage. Because of the research, I know that miscarriage can happen from male sperm. Do the semen analysis. He has 0 sperm. And then 4 months later, 0 sperm again. And so we're like, oh my gosh, like we need to see a specialist. So we go to a urologist, and you're not going to believe it. He said, yeah, I don't know why you have 0 sperm. Schedule him for a TSM. Guess how long the wait list is? 6 months. So now we're researching like all of the places that will just do this mapping. By the way, what this mapping involves is like them just stabbing his, just stabbing with a needle looking for sperm. And the worst part about it is they don't even take any sperm out if they find it. They're just like, okay, here's some. And then they have to do a different procedure to actually take it out. They basically fillet them open like a fish and grab all the sperm that they can find. Anyways, you find out that even though you understand biochemistry and you worked in an IVF clinic, and this is literally your field of research, you're realizing how much the system is broken. And that's probably the next thing that needs to be solved, not just more research.